I am Devil Driven, and welcome to Team Leviathan Gaming's Starter Deck Budget Guide for Nilfgaard. Before we jump into the video, the crafting guide and starter deck upgrades were written and created by fellow Team Leviathan Gaming members Nilfgaard, Hippopotamus, and Wasubi. All information can be found in greater detail at teamleviathangaming.com/crafting. If you're watching this video, you're probably new to Gwent. Welcome. Gwent is an amazing game, and CDPR is the most generous company when it comes to collectible card games. If you played Gwent during its beta phase and are a returning player, welcome back. There's a number of resources listed below, including the Team Leviathan Gaming Discord. So this is the starter deck for Nilfgaard, the budget list. Your leader is Jan Calvé. To craft this list, this unfortunately was the only list we couldn't get under 1,000 scraps. It's 1,260 scraps. Still easily attainable, Gwent, but if you wish to play the Land of the Great Sun, you're going to have to pay the price. Jan's leader ability, he looks at the top 3 cards from your deck and he will play one. Later on there's a card called Albrick if you wish to craft it that makes this a little bit more consistent, but the way the deck is currently built, it should function fine without it. So the first card we added, this is the first time we added Roach into one of the budget lists, but Roach is an amazing card. She's a great tempo play because when you play a gold card, she comes out of your deck, thinning your deck, making Calvé a lot more consistent. But she also functions with another card we added, Scoia'tael. Scoia'tael has a deploy melee, shuffle a card into your opponent's graveyard or deck, so she can end up putting in something like, say there's a old spear tip or a old spear tip asleep in your opponent's graveyard and you think they're going to consume it, you can put it back in their deck and they can't consume that. But for the most part, you're usually going to use Scoia'tael to put Roach back into your deck by playing her on ranged, and you can play Roach again for a 9-point play, 1 point over Scoia'tael's provisions, and Roach gets to play twice, which is pretty nice. Just a really great play, and Scoia'tael and Roach, they're just best friends in Nilfgaard. Next card we added was Cleaver. Cleaver's an amazing card. He does 1 damage for every card in hand. So if you have 10 cards in hand and you plan on playing Cleaver, he's going to do 9 damage to that card, and so on and so forth. If you have 7 cards in hand, he's going to do 6 damage. The longer he's in your hand, the more he depreciates, but he's a great answer for most engines. And if your opponent plays an engine on turn 1 going first, Cleaver can take that engine out, especially if they use tactical advantage. That card's going to be a 9 usually. Cleaver can hit it for 9. Your opponent has an empty board, and you just completely destroyed their strat. Next card we added, Gregor the Gorgon. This is in a lot of our budgeted lists. Gregor is a really great card. There's a lot of damage in this list, so you should be able to proc his ability. His ability, you have to play him on melee, and he damages an enemy unit by 1. If he achieves Death Blow, which means killing a 1-strength unit, he boosts himself up to 5, and he also gains a shield, meaning that you can't attack him until you do 1 point of damage to him first. So you can't take any strength off until you remove the shield. This card's really great, especially in a starter list, and it should be easily attainable with all the other damages you have in this list. A card that we pulled from the other list, Doragary. Doragary's a lock unit, but he also synergizes really well with your slave drivers. The slave drivers gain 1 point of damage for every locked unit, including units locked on your side of the board. So sometimes this 4 provision card can end up playing for like 6, 7, 8 strength, 2 points, and then possibly 4 to 6 points of damage. Once you start getting accustomed to ranked, you'll notice that Nilfgaard has a lot of locks. It's really frustrating, especially if you plan on playing Northern Realms. They really beat down Northern Realms, but the lock synergy with Doragary and the slave driver, really great combo, good addition to this list. Next card we added is Vermeed. Vermeed's 4 strength, 7 provisions, and he boosts an allied soldier and all copies of it by 2. This card's going to pair up really nice with your slave infantry. More than likely, he's probably going to just buff 2 of those, playing for 8 points, to 1 point over his provisions. But if you have 4 of these slave infantry on the board, he'll play for 10 points, which is really, really good. Great card. It's not only the slave infantry, it's any soldier. So if there's a soldier on the board, not knights, but soldiers, he can buff those by 2 points. Really great card. Good inclusion. He does really well with a mirror as well if you want to play a mirror, but he's also really good in this list. The other card we added, Lacerate. We have Alba Pikemen in the list, which means that when you play these on melee, they damage a random unit by 1 at the end of every turn. So if you have one of these on the board and they can't remove it, they're going to stack on ranged row, making Lacerate a huge swing if they're playing around this Alba Pikeman. Really great combo, similar to the Trebuchet and Nilfgaard. It's just forcing your opponent's hand to play on a different board if they don't have an answer for this Pikeman. Really great play. Last card we added was Slave Driver. Slave Driver is going to pair up really nice with all the lock synergy you have here with Ox and Doragary and your Alba Armored Cavalry. He automatically does 2 damage, but for every locked unit, so if there's 3 extra units locked, even on your side of the board, he's going to hit for a total of 5 damage, doing 7 total strength for 4 provisions, which is really good. Great card, good addition to this list. You're going to find that Nilfgaard is the lock king. But that's the budgeted list for Nilfgaard. Check out teamleviathangaming.com for updated meta snapshots and deck guides. Check this channel every day for videos, and Mondays for ladder leverage, where I play with one of the TLG pros. Good luck, guys, and thanks for watching.